alien abductions, Project Blue Book, malfunctioning tech, a creepy cabin in the woods. Only thing scarier? Actually seeing an alien. No, seriously, seeing one would have been great, because this movie sure didn't deliver. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Leo, and Bootube Breakdowns is here to make sure your spooky movie night doesn't flatline in the first few minutes. Today, we're diving into Alien Abduction, a found footage flick that promises extraterrestrial terror and mostly delivers disappointment. But don't worry, I won't waste your time the way this movie did. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10, landing it firmly in our Trash-O-Lantern category. But here's the twist though. I've already had to get probed on an alien ship just to bring you this review. And in a few minutes, I'll show you exactly why the movie crash-landed so hard. And hey, if you disagree, feel free to cry into a shaky cam in the dark woods about it. Just make sure to drop it in the comments section. Alien Abduction follows the Morris family as they take a vacation through North Carolina's remote Brown Mountain region, known for its mysterious lights and UFO sightings. Their peaceful trip takes a dark turn when they lose GPS signal and begin experiencing strange phenomena, including flocks of dead birds, malfunctioning electronics, and eerie lights in the sky. The story is presented through the handheld camera of Riley, the youngest son, who is nonverbal and documents everything. As night falls, the family situation worsens. Vehicles stop working, strange sounds echo through the forest, and people begin to vanish. They eventually take refuge in a trailer owned by a paranoid local who believes the lights are extraterrestrial. The group attempts to escape the area on foot, only to be hunted down by a mysterious unseen force. Riley continues to film as members of the family are separated or abducted one by one. In the final act, Riley is taken as well, and the footage cuts out mid-abduction. The film ends with the camera being discovered, hinting that what happened to the Morris family may not be an isolated event. The entire narrative is framed as recovered footage tied to real-life Brown Mountain Light sightings. Alright, so let's keep it real. Found footage films, almost never good, and Alien Abduction is no exception. There's barely a plot here. The family goes camping, sees aliens, runs, they hide in a cabin, see aliens again, run some more, and guess what? Yep, more aliens, more running. It's like watching someone panic through the world's worst hiking trip on repeat. If I wanted to be generous, I could say the movie tries to show a raw, unfiltered look at a normal family trying to survive an impossible situation with absolutely nothing. No weapons, no plan, just fear. But even that falls flat, because the characters have the depth of a cardboard box and the dialogue is painfully awkward. There's no real structure, no beginning, middle, or end, just yelling, shaky cam, and people getting picked off. By the end, you're not scared, you're just dizzy and tired. So, yeah, the plot gets a 2 out of 10 from me. The only thing abducted here was your time. Now for the pacing of this movie, it's exactly what you'd expect from a found footage flick. And that's not a compliment. We start with 10 minutes of fake candid, hey, we're a normal family, bullshit, followed by 3 minutes of maybe something creepy. Then it's 20 straight minutes of talking and reflecting on nothing. Another 3 minutes of, oh no, spooky lights. Then, boom, running in the woods. Cue a 2 to 3 minute crying scene, toss in a cheap scare, and then guess what? More running. Just when you think it might be picking up, it's back to 10 more minutes of talking. At this point, a blurry monster shows up for 3 seconds, and we close with 30 seconds of static-filled camera shaking while something barely interesting happens. Seriously, that's every found footage film ever, and I dare you to prove me wrong. This movie is a carbon copy of that formula with absolutely nothing new to say. That said, it kept the runtime short, barely over 70 minutes, which honestly saved it from being more painful. So for pacing, 4 out of 10, because at least it didn't waste 2 full hours of my life. Alright, so let's talk about the fear factor. You gotta give this movie some credit. It tried really hard to not scare you. See, the movie cycles between long stretches of nothing happening to dark while growling and clicking noises play off screen, to 3 minutes of characters crying and drooling in the camera, then bam, a blurry blob appears in the corner. Someone screams, and the camera violently spazzes like Riley is autistic and has Parkinson's. Yes, the aliens do show up a few times, but the movie still fumbles it by literally glitching the camera every time they appear, to the point that you can't even make out what you're seeing. Something about the aliens being Magneto or some bullshit. And just in case that wasn't frustrating enough, it even warns you before the jump scare by glitching the footage in advance, like a horror spoiler alert. So yeah, fear factor, 2 out of 10, and that's me being nice. But now we have to deduct for the ultimate crime, cheap scares. I counted 4 blatant cheap scares, so that drops our fear score to a cold, unforgiving -2 out of 10. Congratulations, Alien Abduction. You've found a way to make aliens boring. So here's the thing about found footage movies. Nothing interesting ever actually happens. Alien Abductions comes from the dark era of horror where everyone was trying to copy Paranormal Activity and Cloverfield, which, let's be honest, was also dog shit. So yeah, there's really not much here to enjoy. If you squint, maybe the aliens looked kind of cool, but good luck actually seeing them for more than a second. The whole Project Blue Book case file angle was vaguely UFO adjacent, I guess, but it never really goes anywhere. The whirring sound in the barn was there, and the only moment that kind of worked, when the mom and the redneck got beamed up, bodies twisted, breaking before vanishing into the lights. Cool idea when you could barely see it, and, you know, it's unfair, but Stranger Things did the same concept way better. So I guess because of the visuals and the concept, the fun factor, I could give this a 3 out of 10. There are some sparks of potential, but it's all buried under 70 minutes of blur and noise. And now for my favorite part of this movie, the ending. No, it's not just because it's finally over, though, yeah, that too. But seriously, this is one of those rare cases where a bad horror movie could actually pull off a good ending. In theory. See, the kid gets beamed up, and we see through the camera as an alien grabs him, walks through the ship, and passes by experiments being done on other humans. Then the alien chucks the camera out of a waste chute, and it falls back to Earth. Super cool concept. The problem is, we can't see any of it. The camera's glitching, the alien's hand is over the lens, everything is dark, blurry, and chaotic. You're told something awesome is happening, but you'll have to take that at the movie's word for it. And then after the camera falls back to Earth, the movie stitches in some plot threads and creepy extras during the end credits. And that's it. That's the movie. So you gotta leave it to a found footage film to come up with a great idea and then completely hide it from the audience. So yeah, since we technically couldn't see the ending, and that's basically the same as not having one, I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. Alrighty everyone, if we average out our score, that gives us a 2 out of 10. That's Bootube Breakdowns' take on Alien Abduction, and having a 2 out of 10 places it in our Trash O Lantern category. Do you agree with my rating? Scream your score in the comments and tell me what horror flick I should gut next. If this saved your spooky vibes, smash that like, share with your horror crew, and subscribe to Bootube Breakdowns for more killer verdicts. Keep it creepy, and I'll haunt you in the next review.